Ladies and gentlemen, they got him. EPA Administrator Armendariz has resigned. Now, he was involved in a very, very big controversy. So it's obvious why he had to step down. I can see why the Obama administration was, as usual, in a panic. You see, he had said that he would actually get tough on people who broke the law and polluted your local drinking water. In fact, he was talking about a city in Texas where a company had put methane and benzene in the drinking water, leading the drinking water to be flammable and for kids to lose their teeth and not have their adult teeth grow back. That was one of the complaints that Dad at that meeting was talking about. How could you actually do your job? It's okay. Republicans found a tape of him talking about this from over 2 years ago. This is not anything recent. Okay, over 2 years ago, here's the tape that they have lost their minds over. Watch.
I was in a meeting once and I gave an analogy to my staff about my philosophy of enforcement, and I think it was probably a little crude and maybe not appropriate for the meeting, but I'll go ahead and tell you what I said. It was kind of like how the Romans used to conquer little villages in the Mediterranean. They'd go to a little Turkish town somewhere, they'd find the first 5 guys they saw, they'd crucify them. And then, that town was really easy to manage for the next few years. And so you make examples out of people who are, in this case, not complying with the law. So you find people who are not complying with the law, you hit them as hard as you can. You make examples out of them. There's a deterrent effect. And companies that are smart see that. They don't want to play that. And they decide at that point that it's time to clean up. And that won't happen unless you have somebody out there making examples of people.
All right, now, that was a full context of that part of the speech, where he said, if they are not fully compliant with the law, then you've got to make sure that there is a significant deterrent. That's when he talked about executing Turks. Now, if anybody should be upset about that, shouldn't it be me? Okay, but I am not. I understand it's an analogy, and you got to pay a price if you're polluting people's waters and harming their kids. Okay, that's what the EPA is there for. I would have come out and said, look, you don't need the president involved in this. Keep it real. I would have had my press secretary go out there and say, yes, that is our official policy. If you are going to harm the kids of this country and you're going to pour benzene and methane in their water, we're coming for you. I want you to be on notice. If you break the law, we will have significant consequences for you. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Break the law and see what happens. Break the law and pollute and harm those kids and see what happens. Here's what our job is, because we are here in the administration are the protector of the American people. We will put them behind us and we will fight forward. So you want to take your chances and you want to keep polluting? Have at it, Hoss. See what happens to you. And by the way, this guy is getting promoted. That's what I would have said. And by the way, what do you think the reaction would have been? Yeah, of course. Fox News would have cried for days. The president attacked the oil companies. Here, you know what? I forgot to show you they're crying. Here, this is what prompted President Obama to run for the hills. Watch.
If you can't beat them, crucify them?
These rogue administrators that President Obama appointed that are out there killing American jobs, the administration has to be held accountable.
Across the country, we could literally solve the unemployment issue if this industry were allowed to do what it does and the EPA would get off their back.
You have no idea what you're up against. You don't know the power that is the EPA.
They have all the time and resources in the world.
Stop trying to crucify oil companies. There you go.
I love that full-throated defense of oil companies by Fox News. What are you doing to our poor oil companies? God, we love them. No, you know what you should do? You should fire the first 5 guys who are actually trying to regulate them. Oh my God, we must protect the oil companies. Now, in this case, they were polluting the water. Oh, who cares? Who cares? Let them pollute the water all day long. No, we must protect big oil. They're telling you, man, they're telling you. Now, you know how popular it would be to go after these guys instead of caving into them? If you said, hey, you know what, I'm coming for you and I'm going to make sure you don't pollute, how easy would that be? How great and popular would that be? But no, these guys, they run for the hills. So final analysis on this, well, Forbes magazine, for example, writes a new article now, and the headline is, EPA official who sought to crucify oil companies has resigned. So in other words, we have validated the talking point of the Republicans. They said that he was trying to crucify oil companies. President Obama, basically by asking him to resign, has agreed that that's what he was trying to do and bowed his head and said, yes, you are right. We're so sorry for trying to have the EPA actually do their job and regulate oil companies. We're so, so sorry. That's the guy I'm supposed to respect?